The saddest moments on divorce court.
He threw me and my children out of the house.
Why did he throw you out of the house?
Because he was accused of cheating.
I told
when
you,
you
you
pushed
wanna
me
leave.
and that baby out of that house, how did I leave by myself? You did not put your hands on me. Did you not put your hands on me? You did not.
Mrs. Snowden.
We are at this particular point, I feel today, is because she changed as a person.
In a courtroom, a case got a good start with Miss Snowden filing for divorce after 1 year and 3 months of marriage. And what is her reason? Well, that'll be a traumatic experience of being thrown out of the house along with her children. This was not just it. The husband was a total control freak.
This man threw me and my children out of the house.
I did not.
Threw you out of the house?
Yes, you did.
I did not.
Yes, he did for the
is not
second
true.
time in our marriage.
That is not
In the short time we were married, he has taken my car keys, he's taken my house keys, he has thrown me and my children out of the house.
That is not true.
The husband said he always worked to pay bills, but she never had any job except for the time she worked as an exotic dancer. I'm sure you can tell how it went. Furthermore, he kept bringing up the same phrases about their job habits in the conversation, which was probably a reason for stress to them. He called himself a hard presser and the wife unhelpful.
Amateur things that you did not win, so you did not get paid.
You
Amateur
are
what
such
that
a
she didn't
liar.
win?
My mother paid the bill in that house. Did she not loan us the money to pay the bills to bail your sorry behind out when you got laid off and could not take care of the bill? Did she not?
Things got heated when Miss Snowden got annoyed by his ignorant opinion of her job. She had 8 months of medical school training, but still, she couldn't land any work. There must be some reason for it.
For 4 weeks out of the 8 months I took that training course, pregnant with your youngest child, pregnant. I did 8 months of school, and all it was 4 weeks to do that internal thing to get a job at the hospital. Would you support me there?
You
No, you
told
would
me.
not.
Miss Snowden was jammed up with problems everywhere because Mr. Author was not putting up with his responsibilities like a man. Sure, he was hardworking, but now things were going downhill. And what was causing this poor woman a breakdown all along?
It was buildings, the screaming, the hollering, the fact that he threw me and my children out of the
Why did he
house.
throw you out of the house?
Because he was accused of cheating.
I told
when
you,
you
you
pushed
wanna
me
leave.
and that baby out of
I told
that house,
you, you
how
wanna
did I
leave?
leave by
Go.
myself? You did not
All
put your
right.
hands on me.
Did not.
Did you not put your hands on me? You did not.
Mrs. Snowden.
Mr. Smith's past had something to say here. It was not just his old girlfriend who came out of the blue, which disrupted their marriage and brought doubts to their minds. Oh boy, we didn't see it coming this way.
She
Years ago.
said that it was possible that we had a son. I told you, and you went off on me. Now, if I'm cheating on her, why would I come and bring that up to my wife?
You ran into somebody that you had known in high school.
Yes, ma'am.
Over 18 years ago.
More than that.
More than 18
I was
years.
18. I'm 41.
Finances are always hard to understand, but if they're yours, you have got to pick up on them. But here, bills are being avoided to be paid. Let's hear about their money issues and jewelry drama.
Not the whole debt, but that ring should be used to break that down.
And you don't want it.
No, I do not. Take this one also.
How much did you pay for it?
The ring itself was $99. The fitting for his hand was $155.
Oh my Lord. The ring costs more. The
Okay.
fitting costs more than the ring?
It was very confusing, don't you think so? Well, anyway, you can't put your needs on someone else's shoulders and demand them to pay you for it. So let's see what solution Judge Lynn had for this couple.
I'm going to order you to pay $400, Mr. Smith. The rest of the debt, Miss Snowden, you'll be responsible for. That's the order of the court. Court is adjourned.
Well, some stories have a very sad beginning. In this case, Mrs. McGee started off by telling how her husband left her in the hospital after an anonymous call. Shocker, right? What would an ill wife do in that situation? She followed her husband to the truck stop, only to find him with a girl.
3 years ago, I had to have a hysterectomy, plus I had some other complications and had another surgery. There was a phone call received at our home from a young girl, Robert's girlfriend.
3 years ago.
Yes, I had 13 staples in my stomach, and I got in my car and went driving to look for him, and he was with her.
Robert then tried to explain that situation, but his words didn't sound practical in any way. The girl who called must have had some relationship with him, right? He could have shared it with the wife, but he gave her the opportunity of doubt. Let's hear what the man has to say to defend himself.
And she had an opportunity to call you and say somebody's trying to rape me. And how long did that call come in before you received it?
I don't know, I received it maybe an hour later because
So by then, what could you do?
there was nothing I could do.
My point exactly.
Absolutely, Your Honor. At that particular time, I did not think that way.
The dynamic of the court changed when she confronted him to prove his love for her after his irresponsible behavior. Mrs. McGee seems to have a lot of problems with that girl. But why was she so mad when there wasn't an affair? At this point, it seems like the helping husband is being fishy in handling his relationships.
She's trying to make this be all on this particular person.
Well, I think it was more to it than this.
Your Honor, the reason we are at this particular point, I feel today, is because she changed as a person.
What do you mean by that?
My job only allowed me to come home. So when I came home, I tried to be with my wife.
Mrs. McGee added another breaking point of their marriage. The truck incident was enough for her, and she moved on. But the husband still tried to pull his failed strings again to somehow save their home. Mr. McGee also caught his wife with another man. But is it possible for them to get back after all of this craziness?
We were going through this thing I decided I was going to start seeing somebody. He told me, he said, if you quit, he said, if you quit seeing this guy, I'll quit seeing Rhonda and we'll try to get our relationship back together.
So what happened?
It didn't work out because when I got in his truck is when I found the pictures of her and him, them new pictures. It was like, a year later. It was not a year.
Things were terribly disordered and the judge found no hope in their relationship. Both were separated and nothing could get them back. Do you think the judge can sort it out? Let's watch.
Now you can do this way. You can pay her every month for another few years. Or you can give her that $600 she asked for.
If that's what you feel is necessary, that's what I'll do.
No, I feel is necessary. It's what I'm going to order, and I'm giving you an option. You're a wise man.
Yeah.
Pay her the $600.
A heartbroken woman took her marriage to court as she didn't want to be in the relationship anymore. Miss Pugh said she didn't feel valued by her husband and was fed up with him and his disrespect towards her.
I feel like that he doesn't respect and he don't value me, and I only see him through passing. So I'm feeling like, well, I'm fed up, and what's the point of us doing this? Like, what's the point? And it was the one time when I was 9 months pregnant with my daughter, and he decided that he wanted to tell me that he didn't want to be with me no more and that he caught feelings for the girl that he used to work with.
The husband has sued her for $1,500 for damaging his car, while she believed she owes him nothing. That's some crazy confidence. The wife said she didn't feel valued by her husband and was fed up with him and his disrespect towards her. There are more stories of her disrespect and weirdness, so stay with me.
Since I was giving him the $2,500 for the car, when we get to the car lot and he sees the car that he always wanted, so he just said, forget my input on the car, and he just say, well, I'm gonna just get this car because it's the car that I want for me.
Mr. Wells denied pretty much all of the dirt that was thrown at him. To quote her correctly, he put everything on her. Then comes the car drama we've all been waiting for. The man stands straight as all of his arguments are not ruining his position.
Know what she liked it or what she wanted. So I took it upon myself to find something I knew I was gonna like.
So did you present her with the one you wanted before you went to get it? And what did she say?
She ain't like it, and she just didn't like it just because I liked it.
It seemed that there were just lots of problems in their relationship, and the judge was right to spot them. Mr. Wells shared the times when she believed weirdly. Miss Pugh's sister said he didn't perform his responsibilities correctly.
Well, they actually got a good relationship, but the whole thing is about Frederick Wells. Like, he don't spend time with them. He don't spend time with the kid. He don't engage with them or do anything with them.
Mr. Wells, at the end, finally said his words that he wanted to save his marriage and be happy again. The judge explained to them that their emotions are making things worse and suggested they should be patient with each other to pull it together to make things work out.
Appreciation. They tell me I'm doing the right thing sometimes. They say, I love you.
They're taking good care of the house. He's taking mad care of the finances. And both of you are doing what you're supposed to do, yet you're both angry with each other because you don't feel appreciated for what you're doing.
All of the domestic fuss was heard, and it was obvious that they needed help badly to fix their problems. So the judge advised them to give their relationship another chance.
Give your relationship an opportunity to win, you know? Give it an opportunity. Just try. I'm telling her how to change to be a softer, gentler woman.
Now, if I gotta come back, you're gonna get her this time, right?
A young relationship is always hard to carry because you are entering a phase too early without knowing anything. A couple with only 7 months marriage span was in the court and wanted to quit, and Mrs. Wilson was being sued $300 for breaking his headphones.
I'm here today with Andrew Wilson and Deja Wilson. The two of you have been together for 3 years, married, however, only 7 months, and you're ready to call it a day. Mr. Wilson, you're here seeking $300 from Mrs. Wilson for a pair of Beats by Dr. Dre.
The young husband says he tries his best to play his part, but things are still not smooth. He shared that his wife has made dumb choices. Well, if you're an amateur with real-life responsibilities, you will suffer badly.
Get us a meal, something you can prepare a meal to stretch it out. And my wife goes and she gets a pizza. And this isn't just a pizza, this is like pepperoni, sausage,
all the top
bacon. Everything back there was on the pizza.
The poor wife responded that his words are nothing but lies, as he likes to make things up, and called him a conspicuous person. She explained her position, as she had always been a victim of health problems, and shared her condition from the past for clarification, and even admitted her weird eating habits.
Not very. He's a bit dramatic. He can be dramatic.
Okay.
But I've only gained about 50 to 60 pounds, maybe. But I've always had a problem with my weight. I've always been a big girl since I was young. I've never been small in stature. I've never been that way.
The court got to listen to a funny story of the foolish couple. Everyone loves sweet muffins, but they must be shared equally. Yeah, that's how food is shared in a household, but here it didn't happen. Mrs. Wilson backfired, claiming him being dramatic again, and told the story from her point of view.
Do you have anything you want to say about that, Mrs. Wilson?
He being dramatic again. Like, I eat 3. I didn't eat 3. I probably ate 2 other packs out of the box, and it comes with like 4 in the box.
I got another story for you,
This story has a lot of food problems before marriage problems. Well, listen to this one, where getting discounted food would be proved so wrong for her position, but she still did it. But the wife said he's making her efforts a big issue, while she has always tried her best to manage with him.
Did you do that?
No.
You didn't do that at all?
I did.
You made that up?
He didn't make it up, but he twisted the story a little bit.
The young husband bombarded the court with more and more stories, and a couple of them were funny. He shared how for stupid reasons she didn't sleep with him even when he supported her. The girl seems confused here, and she has her own serious reasons from which the man is somehow blinded. We think the boy is dumber than her because of his reply over her stressed situation.
Despite the weight gain, all of that, this is my wife. So I'm gonna still wanna have intercourse with my wife. And when I tell you every time there's an excuse, she told me one night, I ain't in the mood, I stubbed my toe on the way to the room. And then she rolls up and go to sleep for real.
The final confession from the ill-minded left everyone in shock, but it also proved that he was more faulty, somehow selfish and ignorant all along. It was obvious that this marriage won't work out, and the judge gave a loving advice to the poor girl to take care of her health and be beautiful and strong for herself, and gave her a helping tool to fix problems in her life, and wished Mr. Wilson to be empathetic in the future.
And the part about this book that I want you to get is about feeling solid and confident within yourself, being loved and whole with or without a dude, having joy that is associated solely with your intellect, your passion, and your heart. And I'm gonna give you this book, so I hope that'll help you out.
Marriage is a car that runs on stable wheels, but what if one of those wheels is unstable and self-centered? Miss Molly admitted that she loved Mr. Hickman, and he's a good person with her and children. But his non-serious attitude and selfishness is digging a hole in the relationship. His heavy party style worries her crazily. She's damn right. A person with this routine must be very irresponsible. He admitted and replied that he has cut down his party plans to a lower percentage. But still, how much things have changed that could satisfy her?
Do you do that? You go out to 7 in the morning, spend your entire paycheck?
Yes, I do. Not a regular occurrence. I've been doing it, like my prior relationship was in 7 years. I did it straight for 7 years, every day.
Well, listen to the poor girlfriend and to the extent she is annoyed by his behavior, that she had to do this. Man, I had to agree with her on this one. Mr. Hickman is a man with a crooked mind. I can't keep up with his thoughts. Just surprised how she's been dealing with him.
Well, yeah, I have I got a tracker on my phone for, that's my fault throughout the trust and stuff like that. And, when I get a text and don't answer or a call or don't call back or answer or calls back, I do it because I don't want an altercation. It kills my vibe when I'm out, you know what I mean? And all my friends.
Miss Molly cried that it has been hurting her so much to carry all the burdens of responsibilities on her shoulders alone. She is annoyed as he had been adding more troubles in her life. She even shared a devastating story of Mr. Hickman's awful behavior. How can one be so ignorant and disgusting to do this to small kids? Everyone was so shocked to hear this story and how awful it was. He couldn't say much from embarrassment, and repeated the same excuse about his behavior.
Mr. Hickman one time decided that he wanted to go party and told my oldest child, oh, I'm gonna run to the store real quick. Well, I left our 4-month at the time with her until I came home from work because my oldest daughter called me and said, Mom, Brandon's not home. I'm downstairs at the neighbors, which thank God I have my neighbors and they're so helpful. I don't want my job to know how bad it is, so I lie.
Mr. Hickman shared his main concern, and it was distrust for him and her weird behavior whenever he mentioned to do a party. I mean, every woman would react like that if this was the case. Miss Molly threw her point that he also had the same problem of distrust and shared a story where she got badly embarrassed.
I go out, my phone's dying, he's blowing my phone up because he's mad about something. I finally said, I love you, I will bring, whatever you need home later, and I put my phone in my purse. It was on the point where it was dying, and I left it alone. I'm like, you're not gonna ruin my one night out. About 2 minutes later, a man comes walking around the bar looking for me. Mr. Hickman called the bar that I was at. Trust, I have never called a place where he has been ever.
She continued shocking the court with Mr. Hickman's weird behavior, as one time he did something insanely strange. Well, it first sounds like a hurtful prank, but it's actually horrible. He then said Miss Molly needed a better job, but she had a solid response ready to shut him up.
When I took a nap one time, right before I was supposed to go to work, took a nap. This is after we had gotten engaged, fell asleep, and I'm supposed to be at work in an hour. Woke up, where's Brandon? Where is he? Nowhere to be found. Key's gone, ring is gone. What did he do with my ring? He pawned it.
Did you pawn a ring while she was asleep?
Guess who got to pay to get it back?
After listening to his selfish demeanor, the judge asked Mr. Hickman to prove his worth for her. In 90 seconds, he gave a speech, but again, we got nothing but a self-seeking beg from him. Judge Lynn knew that this relationship can't move one step ahead and told her to be aware of the difference between a man and a boy. And Mr. Hickman was advised to come out of his shell of selfishness.
You need to do all of those things you're saying you're trying to do. Fulfill some of her wants. Show her love. Show her you can put her needs and your children's needs above your own selfish, childish wants.